These Faraday's first law and second law, collectively known as Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. First law is about how the EMF will be induced in a coil. Second law is about the magnitude of induced EMF depends on what. So these are the two laws. Now I will give you a simple circuit. In it, whether the EMF will be induced or not, tell me. I am taking a coil. Nearer to it, I am bringing a magnet. I am moving this magnet. The magnet is not stationary, magnet is moving, but the coil is stationary. In this case, coil stationary, magnet is moving. So EMF will be induced in this coil or not. And second case,
It will be induced in first case.
okay, this is the coil and this is the magnet. In this case, magnet is stationary. That means I am not moving the magnet.
Yes, ma'am. In this also it will be induced.
Yes, coil is moving. Okay, in both the cases, EMF will be induced. Very good, it's correct. Across this coil, EMF will be induced, and in this case also EMF will be induced. Why? Because to induce an EMF in a coil, we require three things. One is a coil and another one is magnetic field or flux. Next, relative motion between the flux and the coil. That means the flux linking with the coil must change. So if the coil or the magnet, either one of those two is moving, is nothing but the flux linking with the coil is changing. So whenever the flux linking with the coil is changing, there exists a induced EMF. So now in this case, I am not taking any magnet. I am giving DC supply to this coil. And one more coil I am taking. To this coil, I am giving alternating voltage. That means AC supply I am giving to the coil, and here DC supply I am giving to the coil. Okay, here voltage is there, but now tell me whether the induced EMF will be there in this coil or not. In the third case and fourth case, EMF will be induced in the coil or not. Yes. Is there any EMF induced in this coil in the third case? So remember this, to induce EMF in the coil, we require a conductor or coil, and second thing, a flux or the magnetic field, and third one, a relative motion. That means either conductor should move or the flux should change. This coil is stationary, I am not moving the coil, and to this coil I am giving DC supply. Do you know the answer or not? Okay. Now see, due to this DC supply, current will circulate in this coil. So whenever there is a current, according to Oersted, what will happen? The magnetic field will be produced. So these are the magnetic lines of force, magnetic flux. So around this coil, magnetic flux is produced. Now we have the conductor and flux. Conductor is nothing but coil. We have the coil, and due to this DC current, we are getting the flux. Whether it is DC current or AC current or single phase or three phase, any current, magnetic field will be produced due to the current. So here magnetic field is there, coil is there. Then third thing, relative motion. There must be relative motion, then only EMF will be induced. That means either one of these two must change with respect to time. Conductor move on the? No, conductor is not moving. What about the flux? the amount of flux linking with the coil, is it changing? Suppose 2 amperes current I am giving to this coil. This DC means constant supply. 5 volts DC I am giving. Due to this 2 amperes current is produced in the coil. Let us assume due to this 2 ampere current, maybe 3 Webers of flux produced. Is this varying, this flux? ఈ value change అవుతుందా? As soon as you are giving 2 amperes current, the flux of 3 Webers only will be there in the coil. So flux is not changing, flux is constant, and conductor is also stationary. Then EMF, is there any EMF induced in this now? So EMF induced is 0. Why? Because flux is stationary and the coil is also stationary. Even though you have coil and flux, there is no relative motion between the coil and flux. So because of that, EMF will not be induced in the coil. Now see, in this case, I am giving AC supply. AC supply means alternating voltage we are giving. Due to the alternating voltage, the current produced is also alternating in nature. Whatever the current produced due to this voltage is also in alternating nature. Due to this current, what we are getting? Flux. So due to the alternating current, the flux is produced, and that flux will also be in alternating nature. Because of the DC current, in this case, we are getting the flux. So that's why the flux is stationary. But in this case, we are giving alternating current. So due to the alternating current, the flux produced in the coil is also alternating in nature. Same current waveform ఎలా ఉంటుందో ఫ్లక్స్ కూడా అలానే ఉంటుంది. That means the flux is changing with respect to time. Each and every instant of time, the magnitude of the flux is changing. Therefore, the flux linking with the coil is also changing. In this case also, the coil is stationary, but I am giving AC supply. Now we have a coil and flux is there. Now tell me, is there any relative motion between these two, flux and coil? రిలేటివ్ మోషన్ అంటే మీకు ఫిజికల్గా ఏదో ఒకటి మూవ్ అవ్వడం అని మాత్రమే కాదు, ఫ్లక్స్ లింకింగ్ విత్ ద కాయిల్ మస్ట్ చేంజ్. హియర్ ద ఫ్లక్స్ is linking with this coil. At this instant of time, zero flux. Next, at this instant of time, maximum amount of flux will link with the coil. Again, at this instant, flux linking with the coil is zero. That means at each and every instant of time, the flux linking with the coil is changing. Faraday's first law, what he is saying in the Faraday's first law? Whenever there is a change in the magnetic flux linking with the coil, the flux is linking with the coil, and if that flux is changing, then EMF will be induced in it. So even though there is no physical movement of the conductor and the magnetic field, the flux linking with the coil is changing because of the alternating flux. The flux produced itself is the alternating flux. So that's why EMF will be induced in this coil. So there will be an EMF. It is not equal to 0 in this case. Do you understand or not? Is it clear, this concept? Okay. See this one, the magnetic field here, the magnet is moving in this case and coil is stationary. This concept will be used in alternator. Am I not audible?
Yes, ma'am, not due to that.
Okay. See this first case, coil is stationary but the magnet is moving. This concept is used in alternators. On this principle, alternators will work. And see the fourth case, here the coil is stationary and the magnetic field is also stationary. That means there is no physical movement here in the fourth case. So this will be used in case of transformers. So the next concept is a transformer. So in that, the basic principle involved is this, how the EMF will be induced in the transformer without any physical movement. And one more thing, in the second case, this is used in DC generators. Here magnet is stationary but the coil is moving. So whenever the coil is moving and the EMF is induced in the coil, and that EMF is called dynamically induced EMF. The EMF induced due to the rotation of the coil, then the EMF induced is called dynamically induced EMF. In the fourth case, coil is stationary. So even though the EMF is induced here, magnets are also not moving, both are stationary. So EMF induced is called statically induced EMF. So remember these two. If conductor is moving, conductor or coil is moving and EMF is induced in that conductor, then that type of EMF is called dynamically induced EMF. If the conductor is stationary and EMF is induced in that conductor, then it is called statically induced EMF. So these are the two types of EMF, dynamically induced EMF and statically induced EMF. Apart from these two, we have another two types, that is self-induced EMF and mutually induced EMF. Now let us see that one. What is meant by self-induced EMF and what is meant by mutual induced EMF. Self-induced EMF means take a coil and give AC voltage to it. Due to the alternating voltage, the current will circulate in the coil, that is alternating current, and due to this alternating current, magnetic flux will be produced, and that is also alternating in nature. So that we can indicate it as d phi by dt. That means flux is changing with respect to time. Now we have a coil and we have alternating flux. So according to Faraday's first law, EMF will be induced in this coil. Let us assume this is E1. The induced EMF in this coil is E1. Now what is meant by self-induced EMF? We are giving supply to this coil and due to the supply, EMF is induced in this coil only. So then this EMF is called self-induced EMF due to the self-excitation of the coil. Excitation is nothing but giving the supply. Miki excitation అనే word throughout your 4 years degree you will heard this term. Remember this, excitation means giving supply. So due to the excitation of the same coil, we are getting the induced EMF. So then it is called self-induced EMF. Here E1 is nothing but self-induced EMF. So we can define like this, self-induced EMF. The EMF induced in the coil because of the excitation of the same coil. Next one, sorry. The self-induced EMF equation, we can write it as E1 is equal to L into di by dt. Here L is nothing but self-inductance. So generally E1 is directly proportional, induced EMF is directly proportional to rate of change of flux linkages, and the rate of change of flux linkages directly proportional to rate of change of current. So that's why I had written E1 is directly proportional to di by dt. If you remove this proportionality constant is L. Induced EMF directly proportional to d phi by dt only, but this flux is proportional to current. So that's why your induced EMF is directly proportional to di by dt. So here L is nothing but self-inductance. As a short answer questions, these definitions are important. Self-inductance is nothing but, it is a property of the coil. This L is nothing but, it is a property of the coil due to which we are getting the self-induced EMF. It is a property of the coil due to which self-induced EMF produced in the coil. But the next one, mutual induced EMF. So mutual induced EMF means in this we have to take two coils. This is one coil. So assume coil A. This is coil B. So I am taking two coils. These two are adjacent to each other or wound on the same core or a solenoid. If you take a solenoid, on the same solenoid, we will wound these two coils. But we will give supply to one of the coil and we are not giving any supply to the second coil. That means these two are inductively coupled. Whenever you are wounding two coils on a same solenoid, then it is nothing but those two are inductively coupled with each other. So this I am not drawing here. Just assume these two coils are inductively coupled and one of the coil A, I am giving supply. So due to this, a current will circulate in this. Let us assume I, and EMF will be induced in it. Due to the current, flux will be produced, that is alternating flux. So due to this alternating flux, EMF will be induced in this coil. Assume it as E1. So this E1 is a self-induced EMF, just like in the previous case. Now what happens in the second coil? So whatever the flux produced in this coil will also links with this coil. See here, if these two coils are inductively coupled, that means whatever the flux produced in this coil will also links with this coil, second coil. It will pass, the flux will pass through this coil also, from here to here. So here also alternating flux in this coil now. The coil is there and alternating flux is there. That means there exists a relative motion. The flux linking with the coil is changing with respect to time. So EMF will be induced in this coil also. This flux will also links with the second coil Then due to this alternating flux, we are getting the EMF. Let us assume that is E2. And this EMF is called mutual induced EMF. Because of the excitation of the first coil, EMF is induced in the second coil. We are not directly giving the supply to this second coil. We are giving supply to the first coil only. But because of the excitation of the first coil, we are getting EMF in the second coil. Then that EMF is called mutually induced EMF. ఐ హోప్ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్. ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తా. ఎవరన్నా మీ ఫ్రెండ్ ఏదో గోస్ట్ని చూసారనో రియల్గా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేశాడు అనుకుందాం. ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్లో వాడు భయపడాలి. కానీ అదే సిచ్యువేషన్ని మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఆ ఫీల్ మీరు కూడా భయపడతారు చూడండి. అక్కడ భయం ఫస్ట్ పర్సన్ది, సెల్ఫ్ ఇండ్యూస్డ్ ఈఎంఎఫ్. ఆ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ మీతో షేర్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు మీరు భయపడితే దట్ ఈస్ మ్యూచువల్ ఇండ్యూస్డ్ ఈఎంఎఫ్. యు ఆర్ నాట్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఫేసింగ్ ఇట్. Is it clear both self-induced EMF and mutual induced EMF?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this E2 is directly proportional to dI1 by dt. So due to this induced EMF, current will flow through this. Assume it as I1. If it is a closed one, second coil. So due to the induced EMF in the second coil, current will circulate in the coil. Assume it as I1. So that induced EMF is directly proportional to the dI1 by dt. If you remove the proportionality, E2 is equal to M into dI1 by dt. Here M is nothing but mutual inductance. So this we can define like this: when two coils are inductively coupled, with each other, then due to the excitation of the first coil, EMF induced in the second coil. So that is called mutual induced EMF. This mutual induced EMF concept is used in the transformer. This is the basic principle of the transformer actually. This mutual induced EMF or mutual induction is the basic principle, or Faraday's. These are all because of Faraday's laws only. Even though the induced EMF is nothing but Faraday's law. Mutual induction and Faraday's law, these two are the basic principles of your transformer. Mutual induced EMF, I'm not right. So mutual inductance means, just like in the previous case, like self-inductance, here the mutual inductance, it is a property of the coil due to which you are getting the mutual induced EMF. And in both the cases, like self-induced EMF and mutual induced EMF, is this statically induced EMF or dynamically induced EMF? EMF. We are getting the EMF in these two cases. E1 is a self-induced EMF and E2 is the mutual induced EMF. Now I'm asking, is it statically induced EMF or dynamically induced EMF?
Statically induced EMF.
Statically induced EMF. Good. Why? Because here conductor is stationary, it is not moving. If conductor is moving, then we call it as dynamically induced EMF. So let us see the differences between the magnetic circuit and electric circuit. First of all, what is meant by circuit? Circuit is nothing but a closed path, so in which the current can flow. That is nothing but the circuit. The electric circuit means it is a closed path in which the current is flowing. Then it is called electric circuit. And what about the magnetic circuit? A closed path where electric current can flow. So is known as electric circuit. First, let us see the terminology in magnetic circuit and electric circuit. In electric circuit, if current is there, in magnetic circuit, just as current, in magnetic circuit, flux. So flux is analogous to current in the electric circuit. So to drive this current, what we require? Electromotive force. If there is no force, there will not be any current in the circuit, right? So here the driving force is the EMF or voltage in case of electric circuits. But what it in case of magnetic circuits? Here we call it as MMF, magnetomotive force. So due to which the magnetic flux will be produced and it will circulate in the magnetic circuit. And opposition to the flow of current in electric circuit we call it as resistance. So resistance is the opposition to the flow of current. So what opposes the flow of magnetic flux? Here we call it as reluctance. Just like resistance, in case of magnetic circuit, reluctance opposes the flow of magnetic flux. Suppose if reluctance is low, more magnetic flux will flow in the circuit. If reluctance is high, the magnetic flux flows in the circuit is less. And for electric circuits, we have insulators. Insulators means they will not allow the current passing through it. But in case of magnetic circuits, we have three types of materials, just like conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. Those are diamagnetic, paramagnetic, and ferromagnetic. Diamagnetic materials will not allow, or they are repelled by the magnet, but not completely act like an insulator. So that's why for magnetic circuit there is no perfect insulators. So these you can write it in differences. So closed path for current. So magnetic circuit is nothing but it is also a closed path where magnetic flux will flow. a closed path where the magnetic flux will flow through it. And for this magnetic flux, first write the equation for the electric current. Current equation we can write it as voltage by resistance. Here voltage you can write it as EMF also, EMF by resistance. So here current means in magnetic circuits flux. Then flux is equal to what will be the formula? Here EMF for magnetic circuits, MMF, magnetomotive force, by in electric circuit resistance, in magnetic circuits reluctance. So MMF by reluctance is nothing but the formula for flux. So reluctance opposes flux. Here resistance opposes current. And this flux is measured in terms of Webers. Here current measured in terms of amperes. And MMF is the driving force in case of magnetic circuits, and EMF is the driving force in case of electric circuits. Resistance opposes the flow of current in case of electric circuits, and in case of magnetic circuits, reluctance opposes the flow of magnetic flux. So these are the sum of differences between the magnetic circuit and electric circuit.